Zachary hired me as his executive assistant 3 years ago, and now he's engaged. His fiancée demanded he fire all female assistants working closely with him. My name was on the termination list. As compensation, he set me up on a blind date with his older brother. He's richer than me, well-endowed and skilled in bed. Only thing is he has a child. If you don't mind, want to meet him? I didn't mind. After all, that child was mine.
Welcome to listen to my full sweet love series novel. I'm the blogger and I'm Twilight's novel. Now let's start the main story.
Jonathan Taylor and I had a history. Zachary didn't know this. Otherwise he wouldn't have treated me like a workhorse so carelessly. I was 22 when I got involved with Jonathan. Fresh out of college, clumsy and inexperienced. I mistook Jonathan, who was visiting the grassroots incognito, for another job applicant who'd failed like me. He looked utterly disheveled then, wearing a tailored suit yet covered in dust, sitting on the curb eating takeout, with thick stacks of documents beside him. He appeared completely down on his luck. Having just been rejected for a job, I was emotionally charged. I bought 2 extra-large braised pork knuckle rice bowls, gave him one. "Eat this," I said. "Your food looks too plain, won't fill you up. Just wilted greens and dried meat scraps." I sat 3 feet away from him, consumed by self-pity, imagining how destitute I'd become if I couldn't find work. Would I end up sitting on the street relying on strangers' charity meals too? I was too immersed in this fantasy. So I missed Jonathan's expression. Shocked, incredulous, then deeply intrigued. Over that meal, we briefly shared our backgrounds. Exchanged names. That was the beginning of everything going wrong. I assumed he came from an ordinary family like mine. And Jonathan seemed perfectly happy to play the role of an average guy. I started running into him everywhere. Each encounter felt like serendipity. When he confessed his feelings, I believed fate had intervened. Until the cliché drama from romance novels unfolded. I was selecting a mid-autumn gift for my boss at a luxury mall, when I spotted Jonathan spending lavishly. Hands half tucked in pockets. His posture languid yet strained. Foot tapping impatiently. Though annoyed, he patiently advised a young woman. Only when she settled on her favorite design did he relax, waiting for the bill to be charged to his account. The night before, he'd been in my rented apartment begging me to massage his headache away. Complaining about his boss, exploiting him. I thought long and hard about whether to keep up the charade of our relationship, or confront him and demand compensation. I chose neither. I picked the worst option possible. I exposed him but asked for nothing. He wasn't surprised. Calmly revealed his identity. Magnanimously offered to take me to see his home. The estate's value would require me to work from the Qin dynasty era to afford. His study overflowed with documents. This heir apparent took his duties seriously. Our first meeting? He'd been inspecting the port. A critical project for Taylor Corporation. Problems had erupted. Midsummer heat. He'd rushed to the construction site with blueprints and engineers, personally identifying flaws on site, redesigning solutions, reallocating resources. The stenographer filled volumes with meeting minutes. No one expected him at the worksite, so no special meals were arranged. At lunchtime, Jonathan reviewed the minutes. Sat roadside, eating while studying documents, waiting for subordinates to report solutions. That's when he met me. I mocked my own stupidity. Failed to recognize his wristwatch's worth or his suit's bespoke tailoring. He asked if I was determined to break up. Said loving anyone was similar. What mattered was mutual benefit. At 24 I was too young. Young enough to believe love couldn't tolerate deception. It's not the same, I insisted. We're fundamentally different. I didn't cry or say goodbye. Left by car as calmly as being fired. But life had other plans. Within a month, I understood money's critical importance. Because my period was a month late. I was pregnant. Meanwhile, my company laid off masses, including pregnant employees. The CEO declared, compensate them fully. Let those maternity-leeching women go home and nurse their babies. If more get pregnant, we'll stop hiring women. Before showing, I pledged loyalty to my boss. promised my pregnancy wouldn't affect projects, and took 3 days off for an abortion. My boss praised me as a model employee. Staring in the mirror, I saw a beast of burden, not a human. Couldn't rebut colleagues' scornful whispers. Booked the procedure, headed to the hospital. Jonathan's bodyguards intercepted my taxi. Jonathan was overseas. Flew back within 6 hours. He demanded I keep the child. The offer was exceptionally generous. I agreed. To avoid attachment, I never looked at the girl at birth. Jonathan took her, naming her Chloe. Chloe. Fine jade. I assumed Jonathan cherished her, so my concern seemed unnecessary. I left the capital for the south, yet still couldn't escape the Taylors. Jonathan's younger brother Zachary managed the southern branch. I mass applied to jobs, unaware I'd applied to be Zachary's assistant. Aced the interview. Somehow became Zachary's executive secretary, handling his daily schedule, occasionally fetching tea or coffee. When the chief secretary was absent, I hosted key clients. Rarely traveled with him. Overall, tasks were fragmented but manageable. The salary was excellent. With Jonathan's money, I'd bought an apartment. This job promised stable comfort. Until Zachary's fiancée shattered it. Yvette? Yvette. Zachary rapped his desk. Can't decide? Hesitating means you're unimpressed. He smiled, tone laced with irritation. I organized his schedule, sliding the timetable across. Meeting from 11 to 11:30. Lunch with young Lee at noon. I prepared a congratulatory gift since his family has celebrations. Golf from 2 to 4 o'clock. Jean invited you riding. Conflict. Which should I cancel? Client tour of R&D Center at 5 o'clock plus contract talks. Dinner at Half Hill Manor. Cantonese menu confirmed. It's 10:43 now. Youngly mentioned executives wanting to brief you early. I paused briefly. Regarding your brother, I'll pass. Zachary leaned back in his chair, swiveled slowly, studying me. Interesting. He smirked. Yvette, you're hiding something. I know your brother, I admitted. Saying we dated felt too heavy. No family or friends knew. Hardly counted as a real relationship. Oh, knew him. He nodded. Suddenly stopped swiveling. Scrutinizing my expression, he inhaled sharply. Wait. You were with Jonathan, weren't you? Though accustomed to superior's condescension, that word with still stung. Yes. He jumped up, ushering me to the sofa. Poured tea enthusiastically. Tell me, do you know who mothered his child? We've all asked. He never breathes a word. He hates kids. Must have adored the woman to keep it. You were involved. Who was his favorite? Who indeed? The girl he shopped with? Or just one among many? I pursed my lips. Don't know his favorites, but I wasn't one. Zachary chuckled. Bitter much? Jonathan's usually generous. Maybe to others. When we were together, I lived in a rental. His expression froze. Stared, dumbfounded. Where? He repeated. A rental? He made you live in a rental? I smiled faintly. Not exactly. I rented it myself. He didn't live with me. Jesus. Didn't even cover rent? That's pathetic. Zachary smoothed his lapel. Pacing. Kept glancing at me. Never pegged you for a romantic, Yvette. With your looks, he should have gifted you an apartment. Why stay? He was appraising my worth. Years ago, I'd have cursed him out. Now I adjusted my expression, staying deferential. I was naive then. Joked lightly. Considering that, could my severance be adjusted? A knock interrupted. Mr. Taylor, the meeting's starting. Zachary nodded, straightening his tie. I hurried to hold the door. He grabbed a folder, brushing past me. You're off the termination list. Back to work. Pity. Was hoping for more severance. Now I'd have to resign voluntarily. Zachary's fiancée was infamous lately. Rumored to be a granddaughter of Beijing aristocracy, with wealthy parents. Extraordinary status, extraordinary temper. Post-engagement, she demanded Zachary fire all female assistants. Zachary had 2 chief secretaries. One male, one female, his right and left hands. The female chief was exceptionally capable. Zachary protected her. Executive assistants like me and junior aides weren't so lucky. Even if not fired, staying meant trouble. Risking the mistress's suspicion daily. I returned to my office. Colleagues from other departments were at the secretary's station for stamps. They looked at me with pity. "When are you leaving, Yvette?" "Dinner on your last day." I slumped at my desk. "Earliest next month. Paperwork takes time." "Paperwork? Termination doesn't require notice." "Resignation," I clarified. "Mr. Taylor won't fire me. Anyone have a resignation template?" "Thank you for the company's nurturing. Due to personal reasons, I resign." Sent the email. Pushed back my keyboard, exhaling heavily. Remembering Zachary's offhand comment. He must have really loved that woman to keep her child. I never understood Jonathan's true feelings. Working in Beijing then. My neighborhood was where most northern migrants first settled. The complex had everything. And everyone. I experienced being stalked for the first time. Then my first break-in attempt. I was sleeping lightly that night. Phone vibrations woke me. The peephole camera alerted. An unidentified person lingered too long outside. The masked man wore hats and gloves in the footage. Face obscured. Figure hidden under oversized work clothes. Picked the lock professionally. Occasionally turned to laugh with an accomplice. I froze in the living room, instinctively grabbing a kitchen knife. Hid in the bedroom staring at the feed, stammering through a 911 call. Then called Jonathan. His voice was sleep-rough and groggy. "What's wrong?" "Someone's breaking in," I whispered. Silence for a beat. Then rustling. Sitting up, pulling on clothes. He sounded instantly alert. "How many?" "Armed. Saw 2. No visible weapons, but who knows?" He softened his tone. "Don't cry. Lock your bedroom door." The feed suddenly went dark. The door creaked open. Footsteps entered the living room, nearing. The intruder jiggled my bedroom doorknob. Gripping the knife, I debated attacking first. Adrenaline made my legs wobble. Clutching the handle, feeling it might slip from my sweat-slicked palm. Noise erupted outside. Thuds. Curses mixed with pained yelps. Glass shattered. Objects crashed. "Jonathan. Here." His voice was strained. "Stay put, done soon." I wiped cold sweat. Slumped on the bed. Trembling. Until Knox came. I moved the barricade. The living room was demolished. One burglar lay unconscious. Being dragged out like a sack by Jonathan's men. Jonathan wiped blood off his knuckles, pulling me close. His coat carried winter's chill, cold tobacco scent warmed by his skin. He held me tightly. Kissed my hair. His companions coughed awkwardly. "Bro." "Jonathan, how to handle them?" "Check for priors. Get them longer sentences." Jonathan stroked my hair, tone flat. Buried in his shoulder, I mumbled. "Your friends came so late. I'll treat them to dinner later." "Unnecessary." He nudged me. "Rest. I'm staying tonight." Police arrived. Jonathan lit a cigarette, urging me to bed. Muffled talk didn't last long. He slid into bed, spooning me from behind. I kept shaking. "Don't fear," he murmured. "Never again." I turned, kissing him desperately. Jonathan froze momentarily. He was always efficient in bed. I'd grown used to him unbuckling his belt, gripping my neck, entering swiftly. That night, he was uncharacteristically slow. Just laced my hands around his neck. Rolled us over, kissing back deeply. Late autumn winds howled. His skin burned. When his palm cradled my cheek, I truly felt loved. But revisiting memories is like chewing sugarcane pulp. All sweetness gone, only fiber remains. Sitting across from him in the Taylor manor discussing compensation. I couldn't lie to myself with those faint sweet recollections. His love for me resembled affection for a pretty pet. Even if he didn't want it, others couldn't touch it either. That's all. Work ended. Friday. Resignation email sent. Earliest reply would be Monday. I cleared my desk slowly, erasing traces of myself. Unexpectedly, Zachary called Sunday night. Fresh off a flight, background noise faint. Yvette, what personal reasons in your resignation? Mr. Taylor, I'm 29. Time to start a family. He paused. Not avoiding my brother's setup, right? Don't overthink. No, I lied. I met someone suitable through matchmaking. Plan to quit anyway. What's his background? Average. University associate professor. I see. Fine. Work your notice. I'll add a bonus as a wedding gift. Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Another thing. He added. Buy gifts a little girl would like. Accompany me to Beijing next Friday. Little girl. I froze momentarily. Understood. My first visit to the Taylor ancestral home. Laughter filled the main hall. Servants replenished tea and dessert smoothly. Carrying gift boxes, I trailed Zachary inside. All eyes shifted past him to me. Zachary's fiancée glared furiously. Who's this? Miss Tang smiled coldly at me. Zachary squeezed beside the matriarch. Dismissive. Just my assistant. Had her pick gifts for Chloe. She's only delivering. Expression softened slightly. I nodded deferentially, handing boxes to a servant. Mr. Taylor, I'll head back now. He waved absently. Turning to leave, I locked eyes with a girl on the staircase. Around 5 or 6. Wearing a wine-red plaid cloak dress. Hopping down steps. The man behind her kept his gaze lowered. Coatless, shirt sleeves secured by armbands. Forearms exposed. Lean and strong. 2 fingers lightly gripped her collar, steadying her. My heart lurched. The girl stared, then dashed downstairs toward us. The matriarch on the sofa beamed, opening her arms. Sweet Chloe, come to Grandma. I couldn't look away. Chloe Taylor. Fine jade. This was Chloe. I averted my gaze, hurriedly adjusting my expression to leave. But she clamped onto my leg. Her small hands were warm, clutching me like a heavy, soft pendant. She looked up, certain. Mommy. Dead silence. Instinctively, I glanced toward the staircase. Jonathan had lost weight. Youthful plumpness fading from his face. Skin taut over sharp, cold bones. He watched me long before lowering his eyes. Smiled faintly, approaching. Kneeling, he gently peeled Chloe's hands off me. Careful not to hurt her. Chloe clung like an octopus. Detached, reattached. Chloe. Jonathan's tone hardened. Behave. Don't bother the lady. Chloe blinked. Called again. Mommy. On the sofa, Zachary gaped. Jonathan's face hardened as he scooped her up. Apologies. He held the girl, voice steady. She's never met her mother. Sometimes mistakes strangers. I snapped back, nodding. Understandable. God scared me, Zachary exhaled dramatically, clutching his chest. Bro, your kid's terrifying. Thought I'd been bossing my sister-in-law around for 3 years. Nervous laughter rippled. Jonathan eyed my gift box. Miss Yvette. He stopped me. The child likes you. Please take your gift upstairs and entertain her briefly. I looked at Zachary. He waved. Go ahead. Internally sighing, I retrieved the gift, following Jonathan. The hallway was silent. Sunlight sliced through stained glass onto the carpet. Dust motes glittered like diamonds. Chloe watched me over Jonathan's shoulder. Resigning? Jonathan asked. I confirmed. Voluntary resignation means no severance. I know. After years climbing the corporate ladder, still sacrificing money for pride? Not pride, I countered. He stopped, turning fully. Forearms flexing under Chloe's weight. If not avoiding the Taylors, why resign? This job isn't demanding but requires 24/7 availability. I want energy for my family. His knuckles whitened. Veins shifting visibly. Ah, family. He repeated ambiguously, resuming walking. Matchmaking. Yes. Bring him. I'll vet him. Unnecessary. I smiled. An ordinary man, beneath your notice. He retorted. Ordinary men appeal to you? You never revealed you were Taylor Corporation's heir when we dated. Silence. After corridor turns, he knelt, setting Chloe down. Daddy's busy. Play inside. Chloe took the toy box, glancing back repeatedly. The hallway hushed. Early autumn chill. Perfect sunlight. Jonathan leaned against the window, pulling out a cigarette. Fumbled in his trousers, frustration creasing his brow. I offered my lighter, shielding the flame. Blue fire reflected in his eyes. He stared, momentarily stunned. When did you start smoking? I don't. I pocketed the lighter. Zachary constantly loses his. I carry spares. Stepped back, maintaining distance. Yvette. He said my name abruptly. I've always wondered why you left so decisively back then. Just because I hid my family's wealth. Reasons piled up. Seeing him shopping with another girl was merely the trigger. What crushed me wasn't his divided attention. It was realizing he might never truly cared. During our second anniversary, I'd withdrawn $3,500 from savings. Bought Jonathan a tie. I debated endlessly. Spending that much on a tie felt absurdly wasteful for me. But custom suits were beyond my budget. Watches seemed cheap. Belts and razors were cliché. I pondered. What could stay with him permanently? He wore suits often. A quality tie could serve in many settings. I'd splurged. Eagerly gift-wrapped it. Jonathan claimed he adored it. Used it that night to bind my wrists, tight yet painless. I never saw him wear it again. The tie and box gathered dust on his liquor cabinet. He wore his own collection. I consoled myself. He just lacked important occasions. After all, it was $3,500. Too expensive for daily wear. I wish he'd been poor. Learning his true status brought relief. He simply disdained my gift. Better than doubting my taste. Still, with his wealth, wearing my bargain tie to galas might have sparked bankruptcy rumors. But he could have pretended. The total dismissal hurt. And the break-in night. If roles reversed. Had he been stalked, I'd have offered money. Urged him towards safer housing. Even with limited savings, I'd have contributed monthly. But he hadn't. Never mentioned it. Just assured me it wouldn't recur. But who could guarantee safety? I'd have preferred his poverty. His helplessness would have felt justified. But he was obscenely wealthy, wielding immense power. He'd lavished thousands on a girl shopping, but spared not a cent for me. What could I conclude? Only that 2 years together earned me zero affection. Jonathan crushed his cigarette violently. The more he listened, the colder his expression grew. Not wearing your expensive tie, not paying for better housing. Ultimately, you're upset your financial investment yielded no returns. Accusing me of material neglect. I asked, you dislike me mentioning money? Who wouldn't? He scoffed. Softly I said, I was poor, Jonathan. Money was my love language. I have endless money. Giving it means love? For your wealth, giving money doesn't guarantee love. I stated, but withholding it means she's unworthy. His sneer froze. Stared at me, throat bobbing. I never thought that. It's fine. I shook my head. Irrelevant now. I nodded, turning away. He caught my wrist from behind. Grip painfully tight. His breathing hitched. Lips parted. Words faltered. Stay. I'll give you everything. I just want a compatible partner now. Chloe hugged a doll, watching from the doorway. I gently freed myself. Don't embarrass us in front of her. His hand hung midair. Trembled, then fisted. Watched me leave before slowly withdrawing. Chloe hesitated, tugging his pant leg. Daddy. Yes. Is that mommy? It is. Other mommies hug their kids. Why doesn't mommy? She struggled for words. Jonathan smoothed her braid. Mommy has her own plans. Around others, call her Aunt Yvette. Okay. 2 weeks left in my notice period. Zachary assigned no new tasks. The sudden idleness felt unnatural after constant busyness. I updated my resume. And stayed in touch with Ethan. Ethan Fu was my most promising match. University professor. Physics department. Years of difficult students had polished his patience. Slightly older than me. Previously married. Wife passed from illness. His marital history meant he accepted my motherhood. We'd scheduled dinner tonight. Mass applying to jobs from my desk. Chatting with HR until quitting time. Clock hit 6. I grabbed my bag. Exiting the building, I spotted Ethan under a tree holding flowers. He stayed put as I approached. I tightened my trench coat. Why so far? Didn't want colleagues knowing unless you wished. He offered the bouquet. Restaurants nearby. Walk along the river? Beautiful indeed. Waterfowl skimmed reed beds. The crisp air refreshed me. Ethan frowned, glancing back repeatedly. Something wrong? I asked. Feel watched. Maybe someone wants your number. He joked. Everything seemed normal behind us. I reassured him. Didn't notice. I'm hyper-aware of stalking. Probably harmless. Ethan nodded. Almost there. Cross here. He hovered protectively, sharing campus anecdotes. Rush hour traffic swarmed. Suddenly, Ethan lurched sideways, grunting. A toppled electric bike lay before us. Several wiry youths scrambled up. Sped off instantly. Ethan clutched his arm, bent double. The bike had hit him. I guided him to the curb. Don't move. Could be broken. Hospital now. Taxis were occupied. Thankfully, a rideshare arrived quickly. He paled, sweating. Miss Yvette, please hold my hand. I reported the hit and run while wiping his forehead. He rested his head on my shoulder, breathing deeply. Triage moved fast. The X-ray showed a dislocated left elbow. After emergency reduction, he'd need weeks in a cast. I felt terrible. Ethan managed a weak smile. Miss Yvette, I'll survive. Can't escort you home tonight. I'll take you, I offered. I'll cook dinner. He hesitated, then nodded. Ethan lived in faculty housing. Spacious, impeccably tidy. He watched me work in his kitchen, awkward in his own home. Dinner was simple. He insisted on washing dishes. We talked past midnight before he saw me out. Companionship with someone like him felt comfortable. Respectable social standing, stable career. Government job meant he'd avoid scandals if we married. Walking to my car, I mentally calculated. Missed the figure in the dark sedan. Work resumed normally. Life grew busier than before. Ethan's cast limited him to delivery meals. I brought home-cooked dinners daily, monitoring his recovery. 6 days until resignation. Colleagues mentioned HQ inspectors visiting for 3 days. Jonathan came too. Proof of my marginalization. I'd learned last. Handing off duties to the new assistant distracted me. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Come to 43rd floor VIP lounge. Or I find you. Jonathan. The new secretary called tentatively. Yvette, should I return later if you're busy? Sorry, urgent matter. Review these first. I finished sorting past work records and handed them over. The 43rd floor lounge. He was here, unsure if Chloe accompanied him. I shook my head, extinguishing that inexplicable longing. We'd barely interacted. The elevator dinged open. Deserted. I knocked hesitantly. The door cracked open instantly. Pitch darkness inside. I stepped in, groping for light switches. An arm hooked my waist, pinned me against the door. My cheek pressed cold wood grain. His scorching breath reeked of alcohol. He spun me around, struggling to maintain balance. I braced an arm between us. This seemed to provoke him. He wrenched both wrists overhead. My shirt tore loose from my skirt. His hand slid effortlessly under fabric to grip my waist. Palm searing hot. His kiss was ravenous. I gasped for air. He released me briefly. Swallowed fresh oxygen, only to be recaptured. Breathless in the dark. His voice rasped. Who have you been seeing? This question. He must have known about my visits to Ethan's. Instantly recalled that suspicious accident. Are you tailing me? I emerged from oxygen-deprived haze. Did you orchestrate Ethan's injury? His grip tightened on my hip. He froze, throat convulsing. I didn't. He countered. You distrust me? Silence hung. Spoken rashly. I regretted the accusation. Jonathan wasn't that type. You suspect me for him? Just a minor injury, yet you fret over him? Holding his hand, wiping his sweat, letting him lean on you. 7 consecutive days of visits. Yvette, you only ever cared for me like that. His breathing hitched audibly. And you doubt me. Have I ever harmed anyone? If I acted, no man would remain near you. Too close. His tear hit my cheek, still warm from his eye. Jonathan could hold his liquor, but alcohol flushed his skin. Excess drinking made him belligerent. I braced against his shoulders, heart pounding, voice trembling uncontrollably. That was the past. I enunciated each word. He's my prospective husband now. Caring for him. Is that wrong? Knuckles cracked. He gritted his teeth, breathing thickly. Alcohol seemed to short-circuit his thoughts. You only treated me well before. Regaining composure, I shoved him away. Lights on. Illumination flooded the suite. He staggered backward, collapsed onto the sofa. Shirt gaping open. Leather armbands straining over defined biceps. Long legs casually bent, utterly exposed. I care for my partner, not just you. Understood. I stared down at his disheveled state. Jonathan, we have no ties now. He watched me mutely. Silence stretched. I turned away. Rest. Drink less next time. Pulled the door open. His choked voice stopped me. Happy birthday, Yvette. My heart split open. Rooted in place. Countless memories surged. Blurred yet achingly familiar. 2-year romance. Abrupt ending. I wished passion had simply faded. Then it wouldn't haunt me sleepless nights. Especially with a child between us. During pregnancy, I refused to see him. He respected my space. But I knew he'd visited. His massage technique was awful initially. Kneading my swollen legs only worsened the ache. As months advanced, his skills improved. At 7 months, he came to apply stretch mark oil. I woke. Felt the baby kick against his palm. Jonathan sat red-eyed at my bedside, stunned and motionless. I hated my softening heart. Just a birthday greeting. Just 4 words. Why did it unravel me? Slowly crouching, I covered my face. Footsteps approached. He knelt behind me, encircling my waist. Jonathan, I whispered. Just this once. I helped him to the bedroom. Unbuttoned his shirt methodically. Bloodshot eyes stared back. Exhausted. Guilt-ridden. Want to have sex? His voice remained hoarse. Pressed my hand, halting progress. Can't. I'm impotent now. My fists clenched. Wipe down then. Sleep sweaty if you prefer. Oh. Almost disappointed, he withdrew his hand obediently. Lay back, letting me cleanse him. Yvette. Speak. About those grievances. I can explain. I realized, before our breakup, you saw me shopping with a family friend's daughter. Our families intended the match, but we had zero interest. Post-shopping, we each declined the arrangement. Regarding the break-in, you accused me of neglecting your safety. I tried finding better housing, but nothing seemed plausible. Too upscale would have aroused suspicion. I stationed 2 men in your building, above and below. It wasn't indifference. And the tie. Forgive me. I didn't grasp how hard you'd worked for it. I didn't respond. Pressed the bruise on his right arm. This massive bruise, how? He closed his eyes. Whether evading or asleep. Uncertain. I sat alone a while. Smoothed my hair. Straightened my clothes. Descended. The secretary's office hummed quietly. A colleague waved. Zachary looked for you earlier. What about? Didn't specify. Thanks. Grabbing my makeup bag, I ducked into the restroom. Ensured my composure held before approaching Zachary's office. Child's laughter echoed down the hall. I knocked on the ajar door. Zachary looked up, relieved. Finally. This kid's impossible. Chloe sprinted to hug my legs. I stiffened. Zachary adjusted his tie. You're her kryptonite. Mr. Taylor, I've never babysat. Chill. Her tutor's bringing assignments. Homework. At 4. He stared incredulously. He conceded, read her a story first. Reading time. Since when did kids ditch fairy tales? Why was this picture book all geological jargon? I sweat through 15 minutes. Chloe squirmed on my lap, finally rescued by the tutor-wielding worksheets. Exhausted, I stood. I'll head out, Mr. Taylor. Wait. He shut the door post-departure. Drop the Mr. Taylor. He hesitated. You're Chloe's mother, aren't you? I held his gaze silently. Silence confirms it. He raked fingers through his hair. Idiot! How'd I miss that mole on her neck? Identical to yours. If you often notice female employees' necks, that's problematic. Zachary pulled out a cigar, patting his pockets. I offered my lighter. He recoiled. No, I've got it. He cracked a window open. Jonathan's pursuing you. Your move. Let it unfold. TCH. After you left last time, he made me feed mosquitoes all night. Rambled about how good you were to him. Said he hid his wealth to keep you grounded. I told him, if Yvette wanted money, she'd have left sooner. Your face is your only asset. Influencers cost millions nowadays. Who else tolerates your stinginess? He punched me. But trust me, no affairs. Since Chloe appeared, no more setups. He's full-time parenting now. I changed subjects. That bruise on his arm. Know the story? Zachary pondered. Oh, that. Casual tone. He delivered takeout briefly, 3 cars tailing him. Still had a minor accident. I blinked, processing the absurdity. Your circle didn't mock him? Mock. No one dared. He smirked, flicking ash. You know him. Tests everything firsthand. His food delivery stint terrified competitors. Executives whined him, probing if Taylor Group was entering the market. Honestly? Food delivery logistics have serious potential. I nodded non-committally. He stubbed out his cigar. Still quitting? Outside jobs aren't easier. Relax. My side hustle's thriving. Question mark. He straightened. Meaning? I post videos. Corporate secretary's beast of burden diary. Gained followers exposing company gossip. Yvette, even as my sister-in-law, I'd fire you. Try. You no longer can. I checked my watch. My shift's over. Enjoy your workload, Mr. Taylor. Many things concluded. My spotless desk. The needed closure with Jonathan. I cooked dinner at home. Packed an extra portion for Ethan. His cast would be removed in 3 days. Stop looking so guilty. This isn't your fault. He opened the thermal container, pouring tea. I hesitated, unsure how to begin. After this long, marriage talks were due. Rejecting him now felt unfair. Ethan spoke first. I understand. No need for difficulty. We're incompatible. I rubbed my temples. Apologies. He smiled. Your ex visited me. My head snapped up. Relax. We just discussed your past. Thanks to you, I met Mr. Taylor. His stock tips profited me nicely. He sipped soup, amused. Ms. Yvette, you're capable, attractive, financially secure. Motherhood is your sole flaw. But considering Jonathan Taylor fathered your child? That changes everything. As a widower, I know my limits. I can't replace him in your heart. Ending this benefits us both. Relief washed over me. Grateful he spared me rejection. Call if needed. I'll help where possible. Thanks, he said. Mr. Taylor already compensated me. Ethan saw me to the stairwell. His silhouette receded. I turned on music, driving home. Corporate inspection ended. My resignation finalized. The job market looked grim. With my social media following, I delayed job hunting. While memories stayed fresh, I compiled workplace anecdotes into content. Filmed. Edited. After 2 months home, my satire series took off. Jonathan visited often. Brought Chloe and toy-filled bags. Slipped in quietly. Played near my workstation. Bunked in the guest room for days. Vanished just as silently. 10 days since his last appearance. Winter arrived. While cleaning, I stepped on a rubber duck. Chloe's toy. Sat on the floor, squeezing it absently. Caved and dialed Jonathan. Been busy. No immediate reply. Seconds ticked. Do you want to see me? I started. Chloe. I'll arrive tomorrow. Click. Seasonal wardrobe update. Sorted discards from the closet. Setting my phone aside, I continued purging clutter. Nearly 10 p.m. when I finished. Early winter's chill deepened. Heating not yet activated. Yet the night grew unbearably warm. I woke to unnatural heat. Tried shifting away. His hold tightened. His lips trailed damp kisses along my neck. Yvette, he murmured. Wish me Happy New Year. Insane. I whispered. It's November. You haven't said it in 4 years. I turned away, struggling free. He thrust deliberately. Heat surged. I bit his shoulder. Weren't you coming tomorrow? Couldn't wait. Chloe arrives tomorrow. His arm hooked beneath me, flipping me over. Cradled my jaw, devouring my mouth. Get back together. He tightened his grip on my hand. Chloe misses you terribly. I need to consider. He bargained. Take her to the park once. She wants a day with Mom. I countered, new amusement park, family rides. He buried his face between my breasts, tore my nightgown like a wild animal. We reached the airport 2 hours late. Chloe sulked silently in the car. Jonathan rubbed his neck, reaching for her. Daddy will braid your hair for the park, okay? She turned away. Don't be mad. Convincing Mommy took time. Silence. Jonathan upped the offer. Mommy promised all-day fun. I said no such thing, I interjected. Chloe erupted in tears. Jonathan carried her off, flushed and flustered. Daddy won't be late again. Promise. Anything, 3 wishes. I massaged my temples. He'd signed terms evenly Hongzhong would refuse. At the amusement park, Jonathan looked dazed. A cotton candy stick appeared before me. Chloe wiped her eyes, lifting it high. For Mommy. I knelt, hesitating. Tried lifting her, deceptively solid. Jonathan intervened. Support her bottom, not like that. I quit. Too heavy. Fetch drinks. He whispered. She'll tantrum if she hears. I swallowed my complaint. Jonathan queued at the kiosk. I led Chloe to a bench. How'd you recognize me instantly? Not instantly, she gestured. Daddy shows photos daily. We even secretly watched you here. My smile faltered. When? When I was tiny, can't recall. Angry that Mommy wasn't there? She swung her legs, pondering. A little. But I love you. Jonathan returned with drinks. Noticed my expression. What's wrong? I wiped my eyes on his sleeve. Nothing. More rides ahead. He kissed my gloved knuckles. Chloe laughed at mascot performers. Happiness felt startlingly tangible. I murmured. Getting back together might be okay.